Well, Nightmare Jones, I think it's borderline comical because you know as well as I do, I've been supporting Roman Reigns throughout this whole process. And by the way, Facebook Live, we are finally back. Oh my goodness, what a pain in the ass. Like I said, technical issues galore, but hey, as long as we get all this worked out before our first guest comes on, I think all is well. But anyway, dude, it's about time that Roman Reigns got 100% real with everybody. And this is what everybody's been asking for, right, Jonesy? Like Roman Reigns, he's reading off the script. You know, they should just let him they should just let him be who he is, and then that way we can decide whether we like him or not, instead of it being force-fed down our throats all the time. And you know what? Bravo. Bravo to Roman Reigns for finally being able to say how he feels inside. And it is downright disrespectful, Jonesy. You know why? Because only he knows what he's got going on in his own personal life. Okay? Jonesy, he said it in the promo. It wasn't even a promo. He said it in the video. He said, you guys don't know if I have newborns. You guys have no idea what's going on in my life. How dare you? How dare you try to pass judgment on me and what I've got going on? Dude, this dude legitimately fought leukemia. Many, many, many people every year die from leukemia. We're very fortunate to have him back and almost back to 100% healthy. Why should the man put himself in harm's way for the sake of a bunch of people that don't appreciate him in the first place, Jonesy? It don't make no mother-loving sense. You get what I'm saying? He's 100% right from my perspective, bro. Roman has the right to make the decision that's best for him and his family. Anybody who disagrees, I want to hear from you guys. 657-383-1521. Remember, guys, we are donating 50% of our profits from the Wrestle Talk podcast mugs, guaranteed to make your beer taste 17% better, and everything else you put in it. More information on the mugs, how to get them customized over at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. What else we got for tonight, Jonesy? I know you had quite a few topics you wanted to run through during High Spots, baby.
I do. One of the things that I wanted to do was the Undertaker cut one hell of a promo last night. Feud with Undertaker and AJ Styles seems to me that it is almost a shoot. Like, it's absolutely crazy. So this, ladies and gentlemen, I actually have the Undertaker's promo ready. So take a listen to what the Undertaker had to say about AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Or should I say, Alan Jones. I mean, since we're being real now. You know, for such a small man, you got a really big mouth. And I don't know if you have a big set, or you're just really that stupid. Either way, your mouth's writing checks, your ass can't cash. I'm sure you thought by dropping some pipe bombs, you'd get under my skin. Son, I've heard a lot worse, far better than you. And although I must admit there are some truths to what you've been saying. You said maybe 10, 15 years ago you probably wouldn't want to try me. You're damn right you wouldn't want to. You were content being a big fish in a little pond. Because you knew back then you didn't have what it takes to hang with The Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, Eddie Guerrero, Booker T, Edge, the very best this business had to offer. The phenomenal one, my ass. You waited till they were all gone. Except for me. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I've got far more matches behind me than I do in front of me. But Alan, you stepped in something now there's no coming back from. Your foolish pride is making really bad decisions for you. All the things you said about me, I get it. I do, it's just business. Where you cross the line, though, first time you mentioned her. I think your pride is playing games with you again. I think you're mad because she does the faith breaker, a.k.a. the Styles Clash, better than you do. She got it over. No matter the reason, you're going to pay the ultimate price for disrespecting her. My wife, Michelle McCool. And you're going to pay that price in a boneyard. Remember, that was your idea. You want to be relevant at the Showcase of Immortals, WrestleMania. And who better to make that happen than The Undertaker? Try me. I'll make you famous. And I hope you bring those two ass clowns, Gallows and Anderson, with you. All three of you can feel the wrath of the unholy trinity I'm bringing with me. Just know, you will feel the pain. You will get hurt. And you will suffer. And most importantly, you will rest in peace.
Oh my goodness. Woo! He literally told him that Jay Styles was content with being a big fish in a small pond because he didn't want to go up against the likes of Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, Kane, Mankind, Eddie Guerrero. Wow.
Joe, I gotta ask you a question. And again, guys, big thanks to all of you that are tuning in. Please share the broadcast so more people can tune in and enjoy what we're doing here today. We're trying to keep you guys entertained during the quarantine. I know that there's a lot of people that have messaged me personally saying, hey, thank you so much for keeping the show going. You know, when we're looking for somebody or something to talk about or listen to pertaining to pro wrestling, man, it's like I keep watching the same videos on rerun, but every week you guys got something fresh. Wrestle Talk is here to shine light on the world of professional wrestling, whether it's on TV or not. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for sharing this broadcast. Jonesy, all I want to know is this, bro. Why hasn't this been the way that they've been doing business for a much longer time? Something tells me that everything that's happened in these last 12 to 18 months with AEW picking up all the steam, with NXT over the last 2-3 years becoming such a force in its own right, like WWE is having to like kind of try to keep up with the times now. And I remember back to that period right before the Attitude Era that we always hear about, where the WWE was doing a lot of not reality based gimmicks, but gimmicks based on like people's occupations, right? It was like occupationally based gimmicks. There was like the trash man and the plumber and the doctor and all this sort of stuff, right? So like it feels like WWE's late to the party, but dude, they always do it better than everyone else. Like, I really enjoyed what AJ was doing a couple of weeks ago. I think I brought that up just kind of out of the blue, and I didn't expect for Undertaker to respond in the same type fashion. The Repo Man, great example there by Luchador. I did not. Oh, Topeka's in the house. What's up, y'all? Hey, please make sure you guys share, hit the thumbs up, hit the hearts. It really encourages us during the broadcast. But anyway, yeah, so Jonesy, that's my thing. It took them a little bit longer than I think it should have, but they're finally starting to cut guys loose. I think with the advent of and the rise of guys like Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, guys that can grab the microphone and kind of take control, it's starting to give the management more confidence in the talent to be able to do that. Because what AJ Styles has been doing and what Undertaker has been doing, it can't be scripted, right? So they're being told, hey, here's kind of the direction you're going in. Go out and do the rest of it. Clearly, nobody's reading off cue cards here, man. Two of the very best to do it, both inside the ring and on the microphone. And honestly, this to me is a better match than we ever would have gotten if it was Sting versus Undertaker. AJ Styles is going to make Undertaker look like $1 million freaking dollars. Credit to WWE for booking this match. I mean, who doesn't AJ Styles make look like $1 million? When has he had a bad match since being in WWE or even before then? Somebody's going to have to educate me because I haven't seen it, Jonesy. The dude is indeed nothing short of phenomenal. I love what those guys are doing. Love it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I could not agree with you more. It definitely feels like that these promos are definitely not scripted promos. Like, they are told to just go out and and this is the direction that you're going. And, not every wrestler is actually going to be able to do that. There are some wrestlers that would literally have a issue with going out there and just shooting from the hip. Somebody like Seth Rollins is able to go out there and he doesn't need a script. Kevin Owens doesn't need a script. AJ Styles doesn't need a script. So it's just, I am thoroughly excited for WrestleMania. Even though there's no fans that are going to be there, hopefully the WWE is going to be able to make up with that by having, cool concepts. And, you've got the Boneyard match, which I'm not sure how they're going to do the Boneyard match. They've got the Firefly Funhouse match, which that should be interesting. I mean, it can't be any worse than the match with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. So, it can't be any worse than that match was. But, so it definitely is interesting. It is confirmed that Roman Reigns is not going to be at WrestleMania, so taking his place is going to be Braun Strowman. My question to you, Renee, is do you see Braun Strowman finally winning the World Championship and having a feud with Roman Reigns?
Yes, I absolutely do. I think that no matter who Goldberg ends up facing at WrestleMania, he's going to lose the belt. Will Braun Strowman, lift Goldberg over his head and drop him like a sack of potatoes? Probably not going to see that. I think something happens that makes, if Goldberg is to retain, I should say, obviously, okay, if Goldberg's to retain, he's going to destroy Braun Strowman, which I don't anticipate to happen. If he loses, then they're going to find a way to either distract him or to cause some sort of issue for him so that he loses to Braun Strowman without looking like he took a legitimate loss. Like maybe a Bray Wyatt appearance or something wild like that to distract Goldberg just enough so Braun Strowman can get the one-upsman. And then I think we could expect Braun Strowman to go full heel that night. So I expect a full heel turn from Braun Strowman. I expect Braun Strowman to win, and I do not expect him to win clean. That's kind of what I expect. But going back to the situation and the conversation about Roman Reigns, bro, the man's got a decision to make. It's his business and nobody else's. So WrestleMania will be just as good with him, and I thought it was funny that he took a crack back, Jonesy, with that comment that you brought up earlier about, hey, you guys are always bitching that I'm on the show. Now I'm not on the show and you got something to say? Like, come on. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? Like, knock, knock, knock. Can we have a little decorum here? Everybody is so full of crap. And I guarantee you he's right, bro. I guarantee you it's all the same people, Jonesy. Well, we're waiting for DJ, guys. What else do you want to talk about before we bring DJ on with us, Nightmare Jones?
Dude, absolutely. One thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't know if you actually had the opportunity to watch this or not, but last week was the debut of Season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring, and they started it off with a bang, ladies and gentlemen. It was the Chris Benoit story, and let me tell you, up to this, I was all for, Chris Benoit going into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm like, he killed his what he did was absolutely horrible. But what he did in the ring was should have outshined that, and absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely not. I have totally understand where everybody is coming from. Chris Benoit was a great wrestler, and he did a lot of great things, but what he did outside of the ring far overshadows what he did inside of the ring. And if you watch this, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, but you can see firsthand how the death of Eddie Guerrero impacted Chris Benoit. Now, this dude, Chris Benoit, after Eddie Guerrero died, I guess it was like a couple weeks later, Vicky Guerrero's kid wakes her up and says, Chris is downstairs in the basement again crying. He kept coming back to Eddie Guerrero's house, and they kept finding him in the basement, like sobbing like a baby. Like, that's how much that Eddie Guerrero passing away messed with Chris Benoit. It was a fascinating story. It was heartbreaking, and wow. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man, it's really tough, and credit to Vice. They do a lot of incredible. And I'm not saying that you should watch Vice around your kids. I'm not saying that you should, but dude, Vice has some really, really dope stuff that they put out, and these Dark Side of the Ring documentaries are probably some of the best stuff that they've done up to this point. What makes it tough is how unfiltered it is. And I don't want to stop. Yo, what up, Jeremy? Thanks for being here, dog. Much love to you. Shout out Sunny Money. Shout out to Drew. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Lucha. Shout out to Izzy, Cody, Hubert, Maribel, Shelly. Oh my goodness, everybody's popping in today. Can y'all share this, please? If y'all are part of any other wrestling group, or maybe just on your personal pages, just hit that share button. Say, great show. Check it out. Man, we really would appreciate that. And again, we are giving away half of the profits for the Wrestle Talk Podcast mugs right now. They're $20 with your name etched, right? So customized, $20 plus shipping. So our profit is $10 off each mug. We're going to take $5, and we're either going to donate it to your favorite wrestler, because they're not working, your favorite promotion, because they're not working, or your favorite charity. All you got to do is tell us, and we'll send it. If it's the Red Cross, or whatever it may be, just let us know, and we'll make the donation on your behalf. So, again, Wrestle Talk Podcast mugs available now. Jonesy, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about there? I just need to make sure that I got that out there.
We were talking about Viceland and the dark side of the ring.
Okay, perfect. So, I guess my point is that it's very unfiltered. It's very hard to watch. And I made this statement in the past, and I'll repeat it again. I personally cannot make those two things mutually exclusive. Seeing what Chris Benoit did at the end does not allow me to separate that completely from his professional wrestling career. I will admit I was a huge fan of his when he was an in-ring competitor. I thought he brought this realness of competition to professional wrestling that was really lacking during his era. But that was just entertainment, and what he did was real life, bro, and it really doesn't get any worse than that. I mean, just straight up. So, but hopefully they keep doing them, bro, because the Bruiser Brody one was really dope, and I know they got some really dope ones lined up for this season as well. Is there one they haven't done that you would love to see? Because personally, bro, I would love to see one on the British Bulldog. I would love to see one on the British Bulldog. As a matter of fact, if they did one on the whole Hart family, bro, right? Like, so Teddy Hart, British Bulldog, Jim Neville, Neidhart. Like, if they did everybody, bro, in one episode, that would be so dope, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah. I don't know how they would be able to do one on the Hart family, because the dark side of the ring basically talks about, like tragedy, like they were able to do one with the Von Erichs because of the fact that, Terry Von, all the Von Erichs are dead. They were able to do Bruiser Brody because of what had happened with him. doing, so like tonight's episode is going to be really, really interesting because tonight's episode is about the ECW wrestler New Jack. And I know you know who New Jack is. Everybody knows who New Jack is.
Hey, no worries. Guys, hey, Joe, hold on a second. Guys, DJ is on the way to call in.
My phone is fucking up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Just go ahead and call into the number. He can hear us, gang. Hey, we're going to have him on in just a matter of moments. So hang with us. And we're going to have on DJ Stewart. That's right, DJ Stewart of Journey Pro Wrestling, one of the owners, guys. He's going to call in, and we're going to make this thing happen for sure. But go ahead, Jonesy. Finish your thought so I can make that connection happen, bro.
Yeah, like I said, I was talking about how tonight they're going to have the story about New Jack. Now, New Jack, as you know, is a notorious ECW wrestler. This dude, like, stab people in the ring. I mean, like, legit stab somebody in the ring. He tried to kill a wrestler. New Jack was absolutely nuts.
He was not.
Really, really interesting.
He was, and you know what? I'll go ahead and let you check on that phone line. I think DJ is with us now. But yeah, he was absolutely nuts. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to it because I only know some of the New Jack story. My brother Sonny sent me over a clip, like a preview, and man, I cannot wait. Because you know what? Some of the stuff, like the Chris Benoit stuff, like I already knew about. So for me, it was like kind of cool to see it, but it was just more detailed to it would just kind of confirm what I thought I already knew. For me, with New Jack, like it's kind of all new to me because I was not privy to a lot of the stuff that he had done throughout his career. I did hear the story of, he cracked his skull and then he came back to face Sandman, and it was like for the sake of trying to get revenge with the stun gun and all that. So I'm really excited to learn more about New Jack because you know me, Jonesy. Like for me, the biggest thing, like I love talking to legends, and we've had a chance to talk to Savio Vega and $1 Million Man and just the list of legends and superstars that we've had a chance to talk to goes on and on. But I get really excited when I get to learn more about guys that I don't know everything about. You know what I mean? So definitely encourage everybody. Definitely encourage everybody to support our Dark Side of the Ring. Again, not maybe something you want to watch with your kids, but man, it's hard to find fresh wrestling content right now, Jonesy. So go ahead and support, and we'd love to have you guys join us and give us your thoughts maybe next week if you guys get a chance to check it out.
But yeah, with New Jack, he invested a guy by the name of Vic Grimes, and Vic Grimes they had a spot where they were going to go off of the balcony. But Vic Grimes was terrified of height. So when they get ready to choose the spot, Vic Grimes is frozen in fear. So New Jack, when he goes over, he grabs Vic and brings it down with him. The thing is Vic is like almost 400 pounds, and he lands on top of him, and basically crushes ends up cracking his head open. He's got brain fluid leaking out. He loses sight in one of his eyes. So years later, they wrestle each other at another hardcore promotion called XPW.
All right.
In a scaffold match, and New Jack, prior to this match, he knew exactly where the ring was. And he has said in many interviews that he legit, when he threw Vic Grimes off of that scaffold, he tried to make him hit the ring post like Owen Hart did. That the only thing that saved Vic Grimes was that they had moved the ring, and New Jack didn't know that they had moved the ring.
What a sick bastard. Yeah. I can't wait to see it. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? The time has finally come for the first hour's featured interview of the evening. Intern Timmy, cue up that music, baby. We're going to get into a little bit of kick push. That's right, baby. We're going to hit the streets of KC and rock with one of the dopest skaters in the city. And not only that, my man recently married, cancer survivor, and is helping run one of the hottest promotions in the United States right now, and that is Journey Pro Wrestling. Intern Timmy, cue up the music as we welcome back to the show a loyal member of the Wrestle Talk family, DJ Stewart.
Yeah, side. We know what you know in the booth. Me with that lazy shit. I'll be making moves. So you know the flow, I had to slow this. Y'all bring some fucking goldfish. Y'all keep on talking. What's up, DJ? How's it going, man?
DJ.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, baby. What's up?
Hey, there we go. Joe, Renee, how are
We are good. How are you, sir?
Man, I am fantastic. Glad to be here. I don't know, Renee, if you saw my last message, but you have a second special guest.
What? What?
Uh-oh.
What? Intern Timmy, I told you. Oh my
I
goodness.
happen to have sitting in my living room right next to me, Hoodie Howlett.
Oh, hey, Hoodie Howlett. God, hold on a second. Okay, it's about to get real violent in here, bro. Anytime I see Hoodie Howlett, I know the level of violence is gonna go through the roof.
Glad you are here, sir.
Every time.
I don't really get a chance to watch Johnny Pro much, or at least not live. But luckily for me and for everybody else, which if you're not a subscriber to independentwrestling.tv, I don't know what you're missing.
You're tripping.
It has absolutely everything you can possibly want in independent wrestling, and that has your opportunity to watch Johnny Pro. For instance, tonight after the Wrestle Talk podcast, I am going to be able to watch Johnny Pro's Space Age Love Song 2. So I'm excited about that.
It is absolutely fantastic. You're going to have a great time, and that's a fantastic segue to another great point is, we know that shit's crazy right now. Pardon my French.
It sucks, bro. Plus, this is internet radio. You do you.
And times are tight for everyone. If you can't subscribe to Independent Wrestling TV right now, I understand. And that's why Journey Pro has went ahead and uploaded multiple shows to our YouTube channel. So you can watch multiple full Journey Pro shows with full production value and everything on our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, JourneyProKC. You'll find us right away.
Man, that's so tight. Joe, I'm going to jump in front of you real quick. Oh, I guess I'm not, guys. Connection issues galore today. Damn it. All right, we'll get hooked right back in, and then we'll continue, guys.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Huge reason that I wanted to start my own wrestling career.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Part of this industry and around these people in any way that I. So the next thing that I did was just become a staff guy. For any old NWL fans, you probably remember seeing a really handsome guy with a ponytail and a bright orange shirt. That was me. So I became a staff guy. I was, doing a lot there, and I became very close with a lot of the members of the roster, the organization in general. And when that organization closed its doors, it put me in a position where I had become close with these people, and I wasn't ready to lose those relationships. And I'd also learned enough about the business and seen it firsthand enough to know that Kansas City was a beautiful place for professional wrestling. It just needed someone to do it and be open to multiple different ideas. So that's, a quick catch-up.
Can I jump in real quick here, guys? I want to jump in and ask you a question, DJ, because I've always wondered this. And Hoodie, thank you for being here too, man. I got some questions for you, bro. I know the level of violence is gonna go through the roof the moment that we have you on, man. It always does when you step in the building. But DJ, so I personally, because I'm very transparent, bro. It is what it is. People gonna hate, but I just like to be who I am because that's the way that I live my life, and it makes me the most comfortable. And one of the things that I've heard towards me directly is, well, fans should stay fans, and they should let the professionals do what the professionals do. Meaning that there are some people that feel like the fans shouldn't be crossing over the barricade and becoming referees or competitors or even owners if, quote unquote, they don't know what they're doing. Obviously, you had a lot of very knowledgeable people to support you throughout the process, but did you ever feel that stigma like, hey, dude, you were a fan, now you're actually trying to do this? Did you ever feel any of that heat? And if so, how did you deal with it?
To be honest, I didn't feel much of that. You know, I was in a position to start, training first and meet these sort of people. I do understand what you're asking and what you mean, by it. I think it's all about paying dues. We're in an industry that no matter what has an old school vibe to it. I think we all know that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Professional wrestling in general has an old school vibe. And with an old school vibe, you gotta pay your dues. You gotta prove that you're in things for the right reasons and that sort of thing, that you're not just in here for a quick buck and that sort of thing. So many people in the industry are, from what I've learned in my short amount of time here, and trust me, I do not claim to be remotely an expert at damned all. But what I have learned in my short time is that people have been here for a long time, just want to make sure that people that are getting in recently are here for the right reasons and not to make a quick buck or cash in on something that other people have put their lives into. So, hell yeah. And just so I can jump in, is Hoodie Howard here?
Yeah, what's up, Hoodie? Man, hey, welcome, bro. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on. I think another thing that DJ did that, a lot of people don't understand is he integrated himself into, a group of wrestlers who were here that had moved here from, different parts of the country, and there was really not a closer bond you could be involved with than the bond that people that NWL, that helped NWL get to where it was. That bond is something that's not easy to, just fit yourself into, especially when you're not a wrestler.
Is Dak Draper one of those guys, Hoodie? Is Dak Draper one of those guys
Absolutely.
that he was on the show, and I asked him about some of you guys, man, and I could hear him getting all emotional. Definitely there are some serious ties still within him about everything and everyone at NWL. I could tell if we would have said anything sideways about NWL, which we never would, that we would never do that here on the show, but I could tell it was something near and dear to his heart. And I don't think it was the brand as much. I think it was the people, and I'm assuming you guys were two of those people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's 100% what the NWL was. That's why, you'll hear some of us get defensive about it. It's not because of Major. It's not because of, the brand NWL. Most of us hated the fucking name of the company. Sorry for cursing if I can't.
No, it's all good. You're good.
But, the bond that we all built because we all just, threw in every card that we had to come out here and just take a chance on this thing. And then you form a bond with people when you put yourself into that situation. Now, DJ was able to fit into that despite the fact that he didn't move anywhere. He was just here in Kansas City, and he wasn't a wrestler. But we knew that he loved it, and so we accepted it in him right away. And he loved it for the right reasons, like you said. Yeah.
And I also love to say a thing real quick. Buddy and I are, as you can probably tell, very, very close. And a thing that I think we've said to each other multiple times that gets thrown around in this industry, but it reigns really true, and especially what I believe we're talking about right now is that bond from the NWL wasn't that became a damn family, all right? Like you mentioned, when people get, they mention it or whatever, they might get defensive. It's because something special came of all of that. It was a group of people at a time, all that lined up together that just was unreal and a beautiful opportunity. And anybody else that sees it any other way can, I don't have nice words to say.
Hey, well, when you put your heart into everything, I can understand. Joe, I know you had a couple more questions and comments, man. Why don't you pop back in here with DJ, co-owner of Journey Pro Wrestling. I want to ask you about the new persona too. I want to get into that before we're done. And of course, surprise guest, Hoodie Howlett, man, one of the hardest hitting singles competitors in the Midwest / the Rockies. And of course, man, one of the best tag team wrestlers in the sport today. But Jonesy, I don't want to be selfish, man. What do you got for these fellas?
I have a question for Hoodie right now. Is at the last show, SpaceX Upstone 2, you faced a guy by the name of Gary J. Gary J is the guy we've had on your podcast. What was it like being in the ring with Gary J?
Gary J and I started working with each other actually in NWL. I had never met Gary J, and to be honest, because of where I was from, I had never really even heard of Gary J before the NWL. And a lot of times this business will teach you lessons, because I would always hold true to this concept that to be a successful pro wrestler, you have to look like you could beat somebody up. And Gary J immediately just didn't fit that mold to me. So I'll admit it, I didn't really
It's true.
I really didn't respect Gary J. You know what I mean? To me, a pro wrestler should look like somebody you don't want to hit on his girlfriend in a bar. And Gary just it looks like I could have walked up and stolen Gary's girl any day. You know what I mean? But Gary is one of those guys that earns your respect when you get in there. His whole reputation and his whole demeanor is built on the fact that guys underestimate him, and they really do, because I really did. And once I got into the ring with Gary, I understood he's a real player, he's a real athlete, and he'll hit you really goddamn hard, which is something that I certainly appreciate. So anytime me and Gary are able to step into the ring, I consider it a privilege and I consider it a pleasure, because we really do get each other. We get to beat the shit out of each other, and that's really what I love about pro wrestling. So,
great question, Joe. Great.
And I have one more question for DJ before I throw it back to Renee. DJ, you are known for a saying that it says not the average. Can you tell the Wrestle Talk podcast listeners what exactly that means, not the average?
So at first, the whole not the average thing is something I came up with in my head one day after reading a weird, stupid online statistic about this disease that I'm fighting. And when you fight diseases, they like to throw around, the average this, the average that, blah, 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 kiss my ass, if you're this, that, and the other, you might die in a day or whatever, And I really just fucking hate that, and I've never associated with that. And so what I've always thought is there has to be the first person to not be the average. There has to be a first person to beat something, to do whatever, to not be that average, that outsider. So I don't know, through a dumb Instagram hashtag or whatever you want to call it, I liked the term not the average, because what I believe is that I'm not the average guy, I'm not the average anything, and I'll prove that in any way I need to.
Yes.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the saying, not the average. All right, Renee, why don't you come in here with the questions that you have? Because I know that you've been chomping at the bit. You've been blowing up my messenger saying, come on, Joe.
Hurry up, Joe. Hurry up. All right. So I know here. Okay. So here's a weird question, and you guys probably have more insight on this than I do. So like, I'm always amazed to see when somebody that like I've seen 1,000 times picks up an incredible amount of steam and really starts to blow up. And when I think over the last 6 months about a guy that has absolutely totally reinvented himself and become kind of like a star, I immediately think of Warhorse Jake Parnell. I know that you've had him at Journey Pro, DJ, and Hoodie, I'm sure you've had a chance to share a locker room with him. Don't know if you guys have ever shared a ring, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Like, what goes into that? Like, how does a guy catch fire? Is there like a recipe that other people can learn from? Because clearly over the last 6 to 8 months, he's kind of come upon something pretty cool, and it seems to be resonating with people. You two guys both being successful, how do you get to that point where you kind of find yourself so much and you build this confidence about you that it starts to resonate with so many other people? I know that's a tough one, but why don't you guys give it a try?
I'll give my quick input as like the owner, promoter, or whatever, the business side of it. Hoodie's probably going to have a better perspective if I'm being honest, but I haven't gotten to interact with Jake all that much. I know that he works a ton, and that is always going to be in his benefit. I know that he works on his character a ton. I don't just mean he's out there working any random show. I just mean that he works a ton. He works on himself and whatever development he needs to do to his character or, whatever needs to be done.
Right.
That goes a long way. I do think there is an element to luck in everything. Being, placed in a great match or, things catch fire almost instantly, almost randomly nowadays where social media is such a great aspect, but I've seen beautiful matches get passed by. I've seen, everything.
Like Shotzi. Is it fair? Like Shotzi, was great always, kind of like caught fire on social, started working for promotions, top tier promotions like you guys, and then boom, because of working with some of the top tier promotions, got that recognition, was able to move to the next step. Is that something similar? Is that comparable in your opinion, DJ?
I guess I'm not necessarily sure exactly what you're asking about. I think she deserved exactly what she got, but she, again, worked her way to all that. She worked, I would like to say that we had a part of that, but... I
believe so. I think Journey was a great thing for her, but that's me personally.
I think so. That was great for her. I think that she enjoyed her time, and I can damn tell you that we enjoyed our time with her. She's the best, and if, wish her nothing but all the most success, and she's crushing it right now. But again, coming back to it, putting the work in, being in the right place at the right time, making the right decisions is what it really comes down to. If I were kind of inside, but necessarily outside looking in. But do you got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. It's basically like there's not a formula at all.
All right.
But if there was to be like a structure, typically the guys who find themselves ending up successful are guys that just have the confidence to be themselves. This business is so formulated around character and around trying to be this larger than life figure. We all love this thing, and so when guys have the confidence just to focus on that love and have the ability to reflect it out of them, that's when guys become stars. So whatever Warhorse did, I guarantee you he let go of something more than he gained something, because he's just out there being himself, and that's what's making him successful.
Damn. Fuck yeah.
Damn, bro. DJ, you were right. He was going to have a much better answer than you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man. And you know what? And I'll be honest, I have a confession to make, man. I love wrestling, but I really love wrestling intros. And Hoodie, bro, at the Journey Pro show, I can't remember what show it was because, I like to partake. But it was a badass show. They're all badass shows. When you came out to El Chapo by the game, bro, I felt like a little kid. I was like, yes, I love that song and the swag that you guys come out to, especially now that you're working with the twins and stuff. It's so cool. Now, I love it when Anaya's with you, too. Like, when it's all of you guys, that's my favorite. But, man, you definitely have been able to tap into that because you've been able to resonate with the fans just the same, not just in Kansas City, but in Colorado and in St. Louis and all that, man. That's why you continue to be in demand, and I really do hope that you're able to get back to work sooner rather than later. But that said, you, though, outside of wrestling, have other interests. And I can't help but point out the fact that I've actually seen you like in a music video. And that music video, Joe, I know you're going to want to look this up as soon as the show's over, but you were in a music video with Tech Nine, and you've given a lot of other guys opportunities because of those connections. Is there any of that you can talk to the Wrestle Talk fans about? How cool is it to be like a wrestler and in the music business? Because either one of those is a dream come true for most people, but to be able to do both, that's freaking sick, bro. Can you share any of that with us at all?
Yeah, man. I honestly, this might actually be the first time that I've ever like publicly acknowledged that. But yeah, I also work for Strange Music, which is the record label that Tech Nine belongs to.
The greatest independent wrestling. Hey, that's the greatest independent music label probably in the game today, in my opinion. There's TDE, there's some other ones, but Strange is up there, bro. No question.
For sure. And, I've gotten just super fortunate to be a part of making the music videos there. I'm a producer and a director for all the music videos that come out. So, yeah, man, I mean, that's something that it's just honestly another thing that wrestling gave to me, because how it all happened was while I was here in Kansas City, working for the NWL, strange music artist by the name of Murs. He's no longer with the label, but he's a huge wrestling fan, and he ended up looking up some local wrestlers to be in his music video. Marty Bell was one of those wrestlers, and she kind of opened the door for me to be in a music video. Fast forward through all the things that have happened and all this craziness, I ended up getting a job with Strange Music, and now
Wow.
I do the casting. I put Marty Bell in a video that I directed recently, so it's just a crazy full circle thing.
That's a crazy Latina right there, bro. She is wild. DJ,
Yes, sir.
do you remember that show where you guys brought in Brooke Valentine? It was, and that was the show that Marty and Matt and all that, when it was all starting to happen, where Marty went bad, dude. Brooke Valentine, Marty Bell took my beer, which was all the way full, and Brooke Valentine destroyed my Florida Panthers hockey hat. I was very, very upset. I was very mad. And clearly I wasn't the only one, because the rest of the fans absolutely hated that heel turn, dude. Marty Bell is gold. She's gold. How proud are you guys to know that you spent so much time with Marty Bell, and now she's killing it on NWA TV? That's got to be cool for you guys, right? To see her on Power every week.
Yeah, I mean, but really, Marty's always been a star, man. It's not even really, I don't think it's a surprise.
Yeah.
That's fair. She's
Marty,
an Impact. Yeah, she was on Impact and everything too. You're right.
Yeah, she's definitely in that family that we talked about earlier. For better or for worse, we're all a family, and it's not a surprise to me that Marty is successful, because that's how good she is.
Absolutely, I agree. It's every time I'm having a conversation, I pop on Instagram or something, and I look there, and Marty's on a TV show, and I'm just like, oh shit.
What else is new?
Out there. Again. Oh, shit,
That's so
cool.
tight.
That's awesome. It doesn't even surprise me. Like you said, at this point, it's just, it's weird and very cool to know someone as close as I do with Marty. Love her to death. But yeah, she's out there crushing it as always. Good for her. You love her to death. even though, Journey Pro is an enter at your own risk kind of show. So sorry about your hat. Sorry about your beer.
I know. I should have known better. I should have known better. Damn it. And I'm such a big target, man. I'm always talking trash. All right. Well, we do have a fan question. A guy you guys might name, a guy that you guys might know by the name of Sam. I'll leave his last name out of it. Wants to know, Hoodie and DJ, would you ever try out for The Voice? And if so, what song would each of you sing?
Try out for The Voice.
If you tried out,
I thought you said The Voice.
The Voice, no, the show, The Voice. If you ever tried out for The Voice, would you do it? And if so, what song would you sing?
Let me tell you, I'll go ahead and go first because this dude is like a karaoke fucking connoisseur.
All right.
Honestly, there's nothing more that I hate in this world than singing in front of like people at like a bar setting, karaoke setting. I hate it so much, so much. And one time, I actually was commissioned to go on stage and try to sing, and I didn't do it. And DJ got really, really upset with me and was like upset for like 30 minutes. So,
First off, if anyone is listening and would like me to prove Hoodie Howlett wrong, because I have live video on my phone, and you can Venmo me, the highest bidder wins. I have Hoodie Howlett singing acoustic guitar to a room full of people at Niles Plum K's winery.
Oh wow! The dirt is coming, and it's coming quick.
You can DM me for my Venmo account, and I'll send it to the high.
Hey DJ, hey, it might be Kelly, because Kelly's on the Facebook Live. Shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for sharing and for hitting the like and the hearts. Kelly says, Hoodie wouldn't even sing at my birthday party. Mad face, mad face, mad face. So, Hoodie, clearly there's some money to be made here, bro. You got to collect these checks, homie. It's hard out here for a player.
There's not enough money in the world, bro.
My karaoke song would be probably one of three. I'm trying to think. It's either between, I think my last entrance song for this show was The Darkness. I believe in a thing called love.
Okay.
Maybe Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Good Vibrations.
Feel the vibration. Dun, dun. Okay. All right.
Can you feel it? Feel it.
Marky Mark. We old, guys.
So weird rent in the works. It would be maybe Waylon Jennings, Lukenbach, Texas.
Now we're talking, bro. I say you go with the Waylon Jennings. That's just me. That's me.
Yep.
Or hey, Tennessee Mountaintop ain't too bad either. It's good shit.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Well, guys, listen, here's what we want to do before we wrap this puppy up, because we got the FWWC segment coming up next. We like to do this this segment, and I think this is the perfect time to do it because everybody's in quarantine, and we all got cabin fever, and everybody's a little bit pissed off on the inside, let's be honest. So we would like to invite the both of you to join us for tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Shoot and Shout segment. And really, it's just 30, 40 seconds, however much you need, to vent about something that's pissing you off in life right now. It doesn't even have to be wrestling related. We play some Limp Bizkit and get us fired up, and then each of us just rants for about 30 seconds about something that's ticking us off. The question is, can DJ and Hoodie Howlett turn it on and give us something that the fans want to hear? Because people want to hear you guys pissed off, and we want to know why.
I'm going to start off giving the phone to Hoodie because he's pacing around the living room.
Uh-oh.
So you just started with like
Uh-oh.
or whatever.
All right, well,
Here's what I'm going to say.
let us hit the music.
Here's what I'm going
Hold on. Let us hit the music, Hoodie. Let us hit the... Hold on. Let us hit the music, and then you can go first, all right? So, intern Timmy... Hoodie, you'll go first. Intern Timmy, hit the music. Let's get into tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Pod. Too early!
All right. Everybody, you don't really know why, but you want to come out.
Turn it down, turn it down. Hoodie's ready.
So angry on the internet about how people are reacting to the coronavirus. Whether I stay inside, whether I go outside. The fact is, there's not a person alive on the planet that knows what the fuck to do right now. So everybody just calm down, stop being judgmental towards each other, stop telling each other what the fuck they should do, because none of us know what to do. Fuck you if you're telling people what to do on the internet. Thank you. That's my fucking time.
Nice. Jonesy, what do you got? Joe.
I am, man. Stop taking all the guys toilet paper. I take a lot of shit, okay? I'm not going to lie. I need toilet paper. I'm worried about it. I haven't had to go resort to having it delivered to my house yet, but I am worried, all right? It's a reality that I'm coming to terms with. Buy fucking inhalers or shit. Stop buying toilet paper. I'm going to need it one of these days. I eat a lot of hot sauce.
Joe, what do you got?
I'll tell you what's opening my change right now is the fact that we've got Hoodie Howlett on the Wrestle Talk podcast with John Renee, and he still won't sing to us.
Dude,
Like I said, I got a Venmo account ready for you, Joe.
Joe, you know what to do, bro. Get your ass on it. And here's my thing. Mine is wrestling related. Oh my gosh. Is wrestling Twitter ever content? AEW is one of the only companies that's still running shows, and the moment that they announce the TNT Championship that's going to come out in a couple of weeks, people are already bitching. You guys haven't seen the title, you don't know who's in the tournament, and you're still freaking mad. Oh my gosh, like y'all need to go wash your hands and clear your mind or something. Go smoke a joint, for God's sakes. I don't know what you need to do, but you gotta relax. You got to relax. Stop hating on everything before it comes out. Give it an opportunity to play out. You got some of the best minds in the professional wrestling world working at that company. Give them the benefit of the doubt and give them an opportunity to roll it out. People are so quick to cancel shit these days before they even understand what it is that it's absolutely ridiculous. That's my shoot and shout for tonight. My very last question is this. Well, actually, two-parter. Number one, when are we going to get... Wait, let me finish.
One last question.
No, hold on. It's a two-part last question. I'll let you jump in. Number one, when are we going to get a one-on-one Hoodie Howlett interview? We talk about it every time I see you, bro, and we never make it happen, so we got to do that. And then number two, DJ, I hear you're changing your name. Why don't you tell us all about it before we close out this interview, bro? Go ahead.
Well, hold on. First, I have to say something. You said a sentence during your rant there that popped me real hard. You said, wash your hands, clear your mind, and smoke a joint. And I want you to know that I'm eternally grateful for that sentence.
All three of them.
Hilarious.
All three of them. Yeah, baby. Let's go.
I'm not going to lie.
All right.
But as far as me changing my name, I think you mean adding the little moniker of the handsome devil Jordan Price. And honestly, it was just one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I was like, God damn. And that day was every day. And then I realized if I put on a suit, I just look like a devil. So I was
This
like,
guy.
let's put two and two together. Put them together. And I'm not a mathematician. I'm just handsome. So I'm going to let Hoodie Howlett take it from there.
Yes. I like it. Jordan Price, I get that? Jordan Price, the handsome devil Jordan Price. That's fresh. Hoodie, what do you got for us, man? Close us out strong.
Yeah, man, I would love to get on the podcast anytime. I had a great time tonight, so just hit me up, and we'll do the damn thing.
You got it, man. If you want to come to a place where we love wrestling and talk shit nonstop, the Wrestle Talk podcast is the place to be, man. Thank you, both of you guys. Total awesome surprise to have Hoodie on with you, DJ. And you know what? I cannot wait till Journey Pro comes back. It always feels like I'm going home when I go to a Journey Pro show. So many people I recognize and so many new faces, man. All the best to you guys. Continued success. And I know you guys have got some things that you're going to be doing during the quarantine. Can you give us any information on that before we close it out completely? What is Journey Pro going to be doing for the fans during the quarantine?
Yes, thank you, Renee, for bringing that up. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick before we left is there's a couple posts you'll find on all of our social media, which is at Journey Pro KC. So just, Journey Pro, all one word, and then KC. I posted links to basically everyone that's on our rosters, pro wrestling tees, Facebook pages, everything like that. One of the big things that anyone that can do to support us is support the men and women, dogs, cats, whatever, spiders that wrestle for us, unicorns. Support the people that go out there and bust their asses. We do have some cool stuff going on where we will have some live streams with Twitch. Guys like Jake Something, if you can see there, go to the Facebook pages. You'll see all kinds of cool links or stuff that we're doing to support those that support us and to try to keep the doors open there. The main thing is we can't fucking wait to have you guys back at Canada to tear that son of a bitch down one of these days once all this virus shit has passed.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it all again.
Yes, sir. Joe, any final thoughts for Hoodie Howlett or DJ Stewart, man? What an honor to have these guys on the show tonight. Any final thoughts, Jonesy?
Thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks for taking time out of you all's busy schedule. Hopefully next time that we get a Hoodie on, he'll actually sing us a song for us.
Start practicing, dog. Start practicing. Y'all have yourselves a good night, man. That's Journey Pro KC on all social media platforms. Hoodie Howlett, DJ Stewart. Once again, man, it was an honor and a pleasure. We'll catch you guys down the road.
Thanks, guys. We love you.
Adios. Peace.
Peace.
Adios.
Yeah. Man, that was a fire-ass interview, bro. I knew that was going to be tight. Jonesy, go ahead and take us a break, and we'll be back with the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter.
Yo, what up? It's Night Owl. Nightmare Jones. What up, Wrestle Talk fam? Do it for y'all. Check me out. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Even them haters can't hate us no more. So unlock your door, cause we got some more. Every Wednesday we here, keeping it raw. Night Owl, Nightmare Jones, and all the best jets. Like a double barrel pointed right at your chest. Wrestle Talk Podcast.com. Smashing and killing it like the night of the prom.
We are back.
We're back. Nightmare Jones is here taking over the FWWC segment. There's nobody here that's going to take Nightmare Jones.
What are you talking about? Joe, I'm here, bro. What's wrong with you, bro?
Man.
Jonesy, you got to stop trying to take... You know what? If you promise to behave, I'll let you hang around. Can you act like you got some sense for once in your life?
I always have sense.
Oh, man.
Have sense. Let's go ahead and bring in the first guest, ladies and gentlemen. A guy that has called a couple times the Intercontinental Champion. Let's see if I can do it right. The King of Bleach Style.
Bleach Style. What up, KOB?
It's me. It's KOB. What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
I love the energy, KOB. You are all over it. KOB, I'm very, very surprised, and I wanted to get your thoughts. There was a promo that dropped a little bit earlier today by El Mata, okay? And I know that you're a guy that aspires to be great. I heard you saying some positive things about what you saw. Can you please tell me what it was about that promo that got you so excited? You were speaking in Spanish, calling everyone vato. It was very awkward, I'll be honest. But clearly you were very, very excited. And not only that, you dropped a promo not too long ago and had a tremendous amount of energy. It sounds to me like KOB has been cleansed and is having a rebirth, man. Tell us a little bit about that and what you thought about the promo.
So the first thing you asked was about El Matarata Tater Tata. He was making a game show, a talk show, whatever you want to call it, and he was saying things about other people. You know what made me laugh about that? He said, you know what you need to do? You need to calm down, you need to smoke a joint, and you need to show the fuck up to the damn shows. People who don't stay on them shows, who say, hey, I'm coming to the show, and they don't come to the show. You know what they sound like? They sound like old KOB. They sound like the old guys. They don't sound like the new guys, the one you're talking to now, the one with the internet. Gee, I am cleansed. You are not wrong, Mr. Night Owl. You are definitely not wrong. And yes, I've been cleansed. I'm back, and I'm better than ever. You want to know the other thing? I wanted to tell about this in a promo, but I'm going to speak about it real quick, if that's okay with you. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, there's only 8 other people waiting. Take your time.
I will be very quick. So, Cody Seals is the man behind this. Do you remember Cody Seals from, like, I don't know.
Yes, of course. Cody was the man.
Cody was the man. Yeah, Cody did jack shit nothing. Cody thought about that. He created the KOB. He created the Woods in those 3-0s, by the way. And they're here. And they're ready to take over the FWWC. It starts with the IC title and works its way up to the top.
Whoa. KOB on fire. Nightmare Jones, you gotta love the energy from KOB. Before we let him go, bro, your thoughts on all this madness coming out of KOB's mouth?
I mean, KOB has always been a interesting character. I mean, he is the king of bleach now, so you know, it is what it is.
You don't sound that impressed. KOB, your final thoughts before we let you go and move on to the next caller, man. What do you think?
Oh, your boy has to go ahead and fight the hardcore European, Mr. Hardcore Heartmania. Make sure you tune in to Universe Mania. Because your boy is gonna bash him.
Wow. Yo, that might be my favorite call ever from KOB. Like, so much energy. The dude knew exactly what he wanted to talk about. That's good stuff right there. KOB, before we go, man, can you give us a quick shout out to your brand, man? Who are you representing and who are you fighting for?
The King of Blitz Style is representing the FWWC. Infinite. Couldn't say the word. Infinite brand. Make sure to tune in. Mr. GM Tank Westbrook is the best in the world at this stuff. He's not even believing. He's a general manager. I'm like, Inferno's brand, hardcore, sis. Come on.
Dear goodness, KOB is out of his mind. Well, speaking of which,
I'm done.
what?
You give me a headache.
All right, Jonesy. Well, you got to relax, okay? You got to relax. So, real quick, we're going to go ahead and jump into a quick conversation with Tank. And ladies and gentlemen, we will have Dave Unger on the show of Attitude of Aggression in just a couple of moments. Give us about 5-6 minutes. We'll get with Dave Unger and we'll get back to your regularly scheduled programming. Tank Westbrook, you heard KOB, your Intercontinental Champion, going off. A lot of big news dropped a little bit earlier today pertaining to Spartan's Heart. You're prepping for Universe Mania 6. Week 1 of the brand battle, year 3 is behind us, man. What is going on in the world of Tank Westbrook? And if you have us on speakerphone, please take us off speakerphone because we're getting an echo. But Tank, we want to get your thoughts, man. What the hell is up with the Infinite brand?
What the hell is up with the Infinite brand, man? Man, we just got the fire. We got the passion. We got the love. We got the everything. We got the it. We got the factor that is going to take us to the top. See, the BOD put me in charge, gave me some responsibilities around here in the FWWC. They gave me where I could pick my team. And see, I picked the members that I picked on my brand because they have the talent, they have the it factor. It's going to take me. It's going to take me to the promised land. It's going to be that forever land. And you see, you just heard a little bit from the KOB. He's ready. He's ready to take it all. You've heard it from Nightmare Jones before. I mean, heck, he's on the phone with us. He's here. I got a brand that is not going to stand down for anything. We're here, and we're forever. And at Universe Mania 6, anybody that thinks that they're going to be able to walk in and take the Warriors Heart Championship off of my fellow brother, Savior Saint, and take it to a different brand, they got another thing coming.
Ooh, feeling the heat.
Yep.
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This lady is very upset because she says that her time will be respected. Tank, I know you're still with us, but we have Hardcore Sis on the line, and she's got something she's got to say. Hardcore Sis, what's on your mind tonight?
Well, first of all, let me just address Mr. Tank. You know, Tank, the only land you're going to is not the promised land, but Smurf Mountain. Because you and the Smurf team over there, you know, you guys think you got it all. You think you're the it factor. You're not on fire. You're not lit like the Inferno brand. We have got
You're going to hell.
the Algon. Oh, you can call it what you want. The only hell there's going to be is hell for you when we win, and we will. Now, let me just quickly remind the little Smurf Village. I just want to say, you know, we have two real big matches coming up, and there's been quite a little battle going back and forth on our team. You know, one match, of course, pits the Battle Cat against Douglas James. And thanks to El Moderatus, that match has now been made.
I am not okay with that. For the record, that is a bad idea. One of these men will never return and will be banished from the FWWC. You know what that means? That means we got to go recruit more people. We got to get more people in the door. We got to get them trained and ready to compete. This is not a good idea, Hardcore Sis. I can't believe you're happy about this.
Well, you know,
To be honest, if I can speak real quick, I think it'd be a better idea if no matter who wins, both of them are gone from the FWWC. That would make me happy.
Jonesy, please.
Nightmare Jones.
Anyway, let me just say this.
Nightmare Jones.
Just say this.
That's embarrassing. Go ahead, sis. Finish up.
Like it or not, El Mata's made the match, okay? And it's an anything-goes match. Loser will leave the FWWC. But I'm going to give Mr. James a little present. If you beat the Battle Cat, you can take his place on my team. With open arms. You'll be welcome.
Whoa, I like that. I like that. Well, guess what? There's another gentleman who's not too happy right now, and he wants to make sure his time is respected. Folks, welcome into the conversation the one and only, the general manager of the Rise brand, the heel, effing deal.
Not this week, folks. Last week, I had to wait from Wednesday night till Friday night. This time, the heel deal is on the show, baby.
Whose fault is that? It's your fault.
I don't know who's more spastic, heel deal, you or that KO King of Bleach guy, beer or whatever it is.
Get the name right, KO.
I think you two must smoke together or something, or y'all got something going on. I don't know what y'all are on, but I think y'all need to drink a little less caffeinated.
All right, everybody relax. Everybody relax. Everybody just relax. I have one question for the three of you, and then we'll move on to the rest of the callers, because we got to get to Dave Unger, okay? So here's the question, and I need each of the general managers. Jeez Louise, you guys are like, I don't know. Oh, dear God.
What? Oh, here we go. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is I.
Hey.
This is unfreaking believable. Marcus Mayhem, I'm about to ask the most important question of the night. What in the hell do you want, and why you're interrupting my show once again? I'm so sick of you and El Mata always trying to take everything over. You and that El Diablo character, too. He's just like you.
Well, I'm on because I'm here for my GM, Hardcore Sis, the GM that is going to win this brand battle. And first of all, I mean, I hear Tank, and he's talking about he's going to win, but you got KOB, a.k.a. repping the Essentials Oil brand, the Infinite brand, and then you got Heel Deal, my brother, but he's pretty much raising a whole bunch of kiddos over there on Rise. Clearly, over on Inferno, we have the experience to win it all.
Yeah.
We're not talking to you, Papa Smurf.
Oh, he calling me names. Woohoo.
All right, wait just a minute.
They don't know.
Wait just a minute. Marcus Mayhem, you're not the only one who's got a voice here. Guess what? El Luchador of Kansas City...
Whoa.
El Luchador of Kansas City has just stepped up, and he says that if you want to disrespect his brand, he's got something to say about it. Luchador, what are your thoughts?
What are you talking about?
Luchador, I'm talking to you.
Isn't that the guy that wears a mask because he's too ugly to wear not without it?
Yes, Luchador.
Luchador don't even know what's going on. Get him off the line. He's confused already.
No, he...
That's right for you.
All right,
Hey, let the
goodbye
man
and
speak.
good night.
Let my man
Stop,
speak.
Baldy. I am going to bed. I got to work 12 hours. You don't. Good night.
Yeah, Marcus Mayhem, some people have real jobs around here. How do you like them apples, buddy? How do you like them apples? You're not the only one who's got an opinion here.
And you call that a superstar there, Heel Deal?
Oh, my goodness.
The man was obviously disrespected. What do you expect? The man was disrespected.
You guys are out of your minds.
Hey, I mean, that's what it is.
Wait a minute. We have to restore order here. And I want to get my question in. So, here it is. Marcus Mayhem, what the heck do you want so I can get back to the people that actually matter here?
I just came here real quick to back up my GM, Hardcore Sis, and I also wanted to address my match this coming weekend at UM6 against the one they call Madman Joe, part of the Fat House. And this weekend, Hardcore Sis, you might end up losing one of your superstars because after all the mouth running he's been doing, I'm going to have to put my foot so far down his throat. I'm going to use him as a knee brace.
Is that a threat or a promise?
I don't know. I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see that, no lie. All right, well, thank you, Marcus Mayhem, for once again interrupting and throwing the show completely out of whack. All right, well, guess what? I have my questions for the general managers. Dave Unger is going to be joining us in just a matter of moments, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring on one more individual. And by the way, I want to have all the general managers on the line, but some of you guys got a ton of background noise going on, so please make sure it's quiet and make sure you take us off speakerphone. I want to have all the GMs on while these interviews are happening, okay? So stay with us. Just make sure you mute or kill the background noise, take us off speakerphone. You know what? We've heard representation from every brand so far, but there's a guy that was brought up and has continued to be brought up multiple times, no matter what's going on, no matter what brand it is, and that is the FWWC World Champion of Rise. El Diablo, you are live on the Wrestle Talk Podcast FWWC segment. What is on your mind tonight, sir?
What's on my mind? I'm sorry, I'm in the gym. I'm running right now. You see, here later on, I'm going to be having a contract signing. Me, Arden Murphy, and Curtis Black. Well, I mean, that is if they got the balls to show up to my headquarters. So, UM6 this weekend. I'm excited, let's just say that. And I'm ready to win it all for the Rise brand. Whoa, hold on, let me back up. You see, yesterday, El Luchador, that was a fluke. And I'm glad you guys got him off the line anyway. He was making me snore. But yes, I just wanted to show up and show out like my brother Marcus Mayhem. And let's just say I have something up my sleeve for this weekend. Goodbye.
And there goes the hottest in time and space, ladies and gentlemen, the FWWC World Champion, El Diablo. We got one more caller, and then I'm going to issue my question out to the general managers. intern Timmy, let's go ahead and check on Dave Unger's status. Make sure we give him the time he deserves. I've not seen him call in just yet, so let's try to figure that out. But before we get back to the general managers, I have one more caller on the line. What?
I do have one question for Hardcore Sis, but actually it's
Jones. Let's get through the caller first, and then we'll refocus on the general managers. Is that fair?
All right.
Okay. Just save your question. So, ladies and gentlemen, a guy that's been in a super foul mood as of late, even was called out by the own leader of his faction for disappearing in the middle of a match just last night for an FWWC Raw challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, the masked assassin, Robert of La Familia Worldwide. Robert, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Always love to hear from you. I know you're not a guy that spends a whole lot of time in the chats, but it's an honor to have you here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, man. Like you said, just been in a foul mood. Everybody just wants answers, and they want answers right away. But that's not how I want to play the game. They're just going to have to wait and see what the problem is. I don't care what they want to talk about, what they want answers with. I'm not going to please them as they want me to do.
Robert, I have a question for you. Whenever you come on or whenever you do a promo, you always talk in code. And I know that's part of the way that you like to operate. You don't like to give anything away. But what do you say to those people that code of secrecy has prevented you from rising to the highest levels in the FWWC? After all this time of you being here, people don't know that much about you. I know a while back you did a couple of written, documented posts where it kind of really gave some great insight into you and what you do. But other than that, people look at Robert and there's just a big question mark. What are a couple of things that you feel like everybody needs to know when they think of the name Robert, the Masked Assassin?
Well, it's very, very simple. As the old saying goes, patience is a virtue. No matter how long it takes, plan always works out. But as it always goes, when I want something, when I go after something, it's always a battle plan. But it will never matter how long it will take. And when I do get it, they do recognize what and how I do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, strong words from a former multi-time champion, Robert. You know, Jonesy, I want to have you come back in here with this question for the general managers, but I'm always impressed with Robert. No matter how I formulate my questions, he always finds a way of like avoiding it and then just making his statement. One of the reasons that he's been so successful here in the FWWC, he's very, very fortunate. He's very, very fortunate to be under the tutelage of so many great superstars in La Familia. The problem is that tutelage, that knowledge, that wisdom, it's all used for bad things, Nightmare Jones. You guys in La Familia are always up to no good. And to be honest with you, I think Robert could be one of the top superstars in the FWWC if it wasn't for La Familia putting him in a position where he's always got to go out on these dark missions, right? These things that he's got to get done for the family. If he just focused on himself, Nightmare Jones, I think he'd be doing great. But no, what is he? He's an operative for the darkest and most sinister faction in the history of the FWWC, La Familia Worldwide. It's sad. It really is sad. All that, Jonesy, what were your thoughts so we can get back to the general managers now?
What were my thoughts? Okay, so Elmont, you talk trash about La Familia, okay? How many members of La Familia called into the podcast? You had Ultra, that's one. You had Heel Deal, that's two. You had Focus Mayhem, that's three. You had El Diablo, that's four. Robea, that's five. You had 5 members, me is 6. 6 members of La Familia call in the podcast. My question is, what the hell was the saving for Funk tonight? Well, Hosea.
Nightmare Jones, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. And you know what? There is definitely power in numbers, but whenever they come on, okay, when you guys come on, it's nothing but propaganda. So what is the 6 or 7 or 10 or 12 people worth if every time you guys on here, all you're doing is preaching the propaganda? I mean, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, you know what? We're going to transition into our very last question of the FWWC segment tonight. And we are still waiting for Dave Unger. If we don't get Dave, we're going to go ahead and switch back to a couple of wrestling topics. So don't worry, the end of the Wrestle Talk podcast is going to be lit no matter what. Period, point blank. But we are working on Attitude of Aggression's very own Dave Unger. Intern Timmy, let's get a message out to Skywalker. Let's get a message out to Dave and see if we can't figure out what's going on. Okay? Here's my question for the general managers. Okay? General managers, you all heard what's happening at Universe Mania 6 concerning the Spartans Heart Championship. The Spartans Heart Championship is a Money in the Bank for the Warriors Heart Championship. And when I say Money in the Bank, I don't mean you can cash it in anytime, but anytime the Warriors Heart Championship comes up for defense, then the Spartans Heart Champion, if he makes it there, okay, will have an opportunity to compete for the top championship in the group. We all know, okay, that the Warriors Heart Championship is getting ready to undergo a huge transformation, and it is going to be by far the most important belt in the FWWC. So here's my 2-part question. Number 1, what can other people learn from the promo we saw today from El Mataratas? Because we all have to admit it was a pretty damn good one. And number 2, how do you feel about the person that he chose for your brand to compete for the Spartans Heart Champion? And I am a little old school, so we're going to go ahead and let ladies go first. Hardcore Sis, please answer those 2 questions as best as you can.
Well, first of all, my thought on the promo is that I think, as usual, and I know you're not going to like this, Nightmare, but El Mataratas was right on target, right on point. You know, a lot of what he said in his promo really drove home some points, you know, and there's a lot of things going on around here that some people that get a little feelings hurt, and people who want to, you know, just be Mr. Big and Mr., you know, think that they run things around here, but they don't. And he kind of made those points clear, along with a few other points. Now, as for my member of my team, Bishop, well, you know, I have some really great people on my team, and almost anybody on my team would be, you know, a good person to put in the match. But one of my top people on my team is Bishop. So when El Mata put Bishop in there, you know, I got to say, I think Bishop can take it home. I think he can be the one to win the whole thing. And I think the other 2 brands, well, your people just don't stand a chance against mine. So that's just the way it is. Bishop is going to show in the Spartans Heart match why Inferno is on fire and why we are the team to beat.
Wow. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hardcore Sis, before we let you go, any final thoughts for the members of the FWWC concerning Universe Mania 6?
Just that it is going to be on fire, and you watch the Inferno brand because, like I said, we have 2 really big matches, not just the one with Battle Cat and Douglas James and one of them leaving our group, but, you know, Marcus Mayhem and the returning Madman Joe. You know, they're going to be going at it, and if Madman Joe wins, he becomes the number 1 contender for that U.S. title again. So we've got 2 really big, really great matches, and then after UM6, we also have a big match coming up to determine a couple number 1 contenders for my hardcore title. So you know what? we're already on fire, and our fire isn't going to just be in a UM6. It's going beyond. We are burning, and we are going to show everybody why we are hot.
Awesome. Guys, there's a reason that the Inferno brand is getting a lot of notoriety and a lot of attention right now. Hardcore Sis's leadership is really, really paying dividends. Everybody who's working for her right now on the Inferno brand, consider yourselves very, very lucky. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have Tank Westbrook. That's right, Tank Westbrook. Tank, you heard the two questions I asked Hardcore Sis, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate them. Number one, what did you take away from Mata's promo a little bit earlier? What do you think that some of the young superstars in the FWWC can learn from it? Because we can all agree it was pretty dope. And number two, how do you feel about the person that was selected to represent your brand in the Spartans Heart Championship match at Universe Mania 6?
First of all, I want to remark on Hardcore Sis. She says she has this fire and that her brand's going to burn all the way to the end. Well, she's right. They're going to burn down to the ground because they're not going to get very far. And she needs to wipe off the brown crap on her nose because she has it so far stuck up Almata's gluteus maximus. So, your questions. What can I take away from it? What can I tell the new superstars coming into the FWWC? Well, boys, if you want to learn how to talk the talk and be able to walk the walk a little bit, learn from Almata. Do I like the guy? No. But can I give the guy props and credit to where he goes? Yes, I can do that. Almata, good job for talking what you were talking about. You had points that were relevant and they were so great. Yes, I give you that. Now, on to my superstar that you picked, Big T. Big T wants Almata. Now, he gets Almata on the grandest stage of them all. It's either shut up, put up, and see what you got. Do I have a faith that Big T can bring it home? Heck yes, I do. That's why I chose him for the Infinite brand. And from his being able to talk, he knows what he's getting himself into. So good luck, Big T.
Wow, absolutely encouraging thoughts from Tank Westbrook towards his challenger, Big T, the Paisan. And I'll say this about Tank Westbrook. If I was an active competitor, there's a very good chance that's who I would be working for. Tank seems like a reasonable, hardworking guy. He's a family man, but he's also a fighter. He's proven it. He's been a multi-time champion here, a multi-time Universal champion. Tank Westbrook is somebody that when he speaks, you got to make sure that you listen because whenever he does, he's always got something to say. For those of you on the Blue brand, consider yourselves very, very lucky. I know Tank to be one of those people that is going to fight for you till the very end, no matter how hard it is. Very, very fortunate to be working for Infinite's Tank Westbrook. The last general manager that we have, and we've got to get his thoughts as well, is the one and only La Familia's very own, the heel deal, Mr. Number One. Mr. Number One, you've heard the question, but I just want to make sure it comes through clearly. Number one, you saw the promo a little bit earlier. What do you think the young superstars can take away from seeing a promo from a legend like Almata, even though I personally am not a huge fan? I know you and Nightmare Jones absolutely love the guy, okay? And number two, what do you think about the selection that was made to represent your brand in the Spartans Heart Championship match at Universe Mania 6?
Watching that promo, it reminds you of who turns the needle around here. And most importantly, when you don't think anybody's watching, when you don't think, they won't notice, nobody will care, there's always going to be one man, one group that's going to hold everybody in this place accountable. And that's Almata Razas and La Familia worldwide, baby. And second, Mata, why couldn't you chosen Robert, Big Papa Kirk? It's going to go to the SOS. I want Rise to have that belt, and I know Arvin Murphy can do it. He's got skill, he's got talent, he's got luck, he's got the little guy off the Lucky Charms box, and he's going to bring that home to life, baby.
Wow, absolute crazy intensity by that one Canadian that we all know and love, Mr. Number One, heel deal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of tonight's edition of the FWWC segment. We promised Dave Unger, and we're going to give you Dave Unger. You guys are going to get a solid 20 minutes of Dave Unger no matter what, because that's what we do here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. We're going into overtime, so if you guys are watching on the Facebook live feed, you're good. This will stay good. If you guys are listening on the Wrestle Talk podcast stream, then I highly recommend that you dial this number within the next 3 minutes. 657. Somebody type that out for me on the Facebook if you don't mind. 657-383-1521. That's again 657-383-1521. You continue to listen on hold as we go into overtime tonight on the Wrestle Talk podcast with Joe and Renee. All that said, Jonesy, you know what to do. It is time to transition into our second featured guest of the evening, the one and only representing the attitude of aggression, loyal member of the Wrestle Talk family, Dave Ungar.
What's going on, Dave? How you doing tonight?
Man, you guys actually got me my own theme music, my own theme song. I always wanted that, and you guys came through with that. So, how could I be anything but great, right?
Dude, you're underappreciating yourself. You're Dave effing Unger of Attitude of Aggression, dude. You deserve an intro theme, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it.
I do, man. I do, exactly. At least you weren't playing like, My Corona or any of the parodies that have been going on lately. So I appreciate that, guys. And sorry for coming in late, man. I think there was a mix-up. I thought it was tomorrow, and Luke's texted me like, no, it's tonight. I screwed up. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, I can jump on, no problem. So how the hell are you guys doing with all this insanity in the world?
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, I'm going to give Dave a free pass because he does live in California. And we all know that the hippie lettuce is legal in California. So if you slipped up and you forgot, that is just a symptom of the hippie lettuce. Dave, we love you and we forgive you. It's all good, right? I'm good with it. I don't care. I'm just glad you're here.
I wish I could blame it on that, but it's just maybe it's because I'm like getting old. That's probably what it is.
Okay, that's a little sad, right? But it's all good. We're glad that you're here, bro. Jonesy, why don't you go ahead and kick it off, bro?
Absolutely, yeah. This all this Corona stuff is really screwed over pro wrestling, but it seems like the WWE and AEW are still giving us wrestling, even though there's no fans. At least they're giving us something to watch. I want to know what your thoughts about these whole shows that are going on without any fans, especially WrestleMania. One of the biggest events of the year is going to be done with no fans whatsoever.
Well, you guys know that I'm as hardcore a wrestling fan as there is. And with that being said, I am 100, and in the words of the Macho Man Randy Savage, I'm 150% against them going forward with WrestleMania. I think this is just a bad decision. I've been on a lot of podcasts, my own podcast, other people's podcasts. It's bled into the Bandwagon Nerds podcast discussion. It's just the problem is I'm okay with them running Raw and SmackDown and NXT and empty arenas. That's okay. AEW's gotten creative with what they're doing. Now they're going to introduce the TNT title, which is probably the resurrection of the TV title. I think it's next week. And I'm all in favor of stuff like that. But we're talking WrestleMania guys, and I mean, yeah, you're probably going to get some really good matches, but I have not seen an empty arena match thus far since it started that just blew me away. You need that crowd interaction. WrestleMania to me has always been about the moments as much as the matches. I mean, you go back to like WrestleMania 18 and look at The Rock and Hulk Hogan. If you just grade that on the match itself, it's nothing spectacular, but the crowd made that match iconic. You're not going to have that this time, and they need that. And this to me is an insult to the fans. It's an insult to the legacy of WrestleMania, which Vince himself has created, to sit there and say, let's go forward with this thing. People need, Triple H, people need to be entertained. Yeah, we do, Hunter, but not like this. This is not WrestleMania. Don't call it WrestleMania. I'm very much against them going forward with WrestleMania. I do like the idea of spreading it over 2 nights. I hope they do go in that format moving forward. But man, at WrestleMania without fans, I mean that's just terrible. I don't know.
It's terrible.
I don't know how you justify that. Right? I mean, I can't. I've got nothing. And so many, Roman's pulled out of this thing. There's health concerns. There's rumors people are sick. No one's sure. Yeah, you can say there's no fans, but you still got people there. There's still the chance of this stuff being transmitted. It's just a bad scene all around. I mean, like I said, man, you want to do Raws, you want to do SmackDowns, you want to have NXT Dynamite. Okay, that's one thing. Not Wrestle frickin' Mania, no way, man. I wouldn't do it.
Well, you know what, Jonesy?
I mean,
Joe, I want to do this real quick, if you don't mind. There's a guy on hold that I think always has an interesting perspective, so I'm going to go ahead and get him on, Joe. Drew Chandler, a.k.a. Ref Pinky, who always has interesting perspectives on things like this, the way that you do, Dave. If it's okay with you guys, I'll bring him in because I know that he's got something to add this conversation. So we'll go to Drew, and then we'll go back to you, and then back to Dave. Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah, that works for me.
Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. One of the most well-known officials, managers, and personalities in Midwest wrestling today. The guy is all over the place between Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas. I know you were going to be working a WWE show, and had it not been for coronavirus, you would have had an opportunity to do that not too long ago. Drew, welcome back to the show, man. It's great to have you.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. I always enjoy listening to the Wrestle Talk podcast, and in past episodes, Dave, you've actually been one of my favorite guests that they've had on here, so it's my honor and pleasure to be here with y'all.
Man, I really, God, you guys are putting me over hard. That's fantastic.
Red carpet, Dave, every single time. Just get used to it.
I'll try. It's going to be tough, but I'll try.
Drew, I know you heard everything that Dave said. You always have an interesting perspective in some cases. People have accused you of just having different perspectives to piss people off. I'm neither going to confirm or deny if any of that is true, but I know that your perspectives are always interesting. You heard what Dave had to say. What are your thoughts on WrestleMania moving forward this year?
Honestly, part of the thing that gets me in trouble is I like to see both sides of the situation, and I like to see positives that could come out of it. As far as me agreeing with having WrestleMania or not, I do think that it should at least be postponed, or turn it into some kind of network special and not call it WrestleMania or something like, I don't know, do something different. But I also think that this WrestleMania really has the potential to be something extremely unique, because WrestleMania has never been done like this. Empty arena style with no fans. It's always been about the pageantry, the fireworks, the spectacle. WrestleMania has always been that, and this year it doesn't have the opportunity to be that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Are they going to have fireworks? Can they have fireworks in that tiny building? I don't know. To me, the positive out of it for me is this is definitely going to be, whether people realize it or not, a memorable WrestleMania. Just because the simple fact, it's so different than any other WrestleMania. Everybody's going to be able to point back to WrestleMania 36 and say, I remember that WrestleMania because, There was a pandemic going on. There were so many things in the world going on. WrestleMania had no choice but to be different that year. And for years from now, we're going to be prepping for WrestleMania 80. And people are going to think back to, remember WrestleMania 36. Everybody's going to have that number ingrained in their minds just because they know it. And whatever happens at this pay-per-view, everybody's going to remember that moment happened at WrestleMania 36. And it's just it has the potential to be such a history-making presentation, especially with it being 2 nights, too. That's different. That's never been done before. And I think that's something that I've seen a lot of people clamoring for. A lot of people have been clamoring for WrestleMania to be 2 nights for a long time. And now they're finally getting it under maybe unfortunate circumstances. But I'm just looking forward to how historical it's going to be. And I think it's definitely going to be interesting. And I think a lot of us are going to come out of it feeling differently than we did when we went in. I think it really has the potential to be that way.
Well, I'll say this. It's definitely polarizing. It's definitely different. But I don't know if those things correlate to good. And I think that's kind of what we're discussing here. Is it a good idea to do it? Obviously, we won't find out till after the fact. But, Jonesy, I know you had some strong thoughts before we brought Drew on. Why don't you go ahead and jump back in, and then we'll go back to Dave and see what his thoughts are.
Yeah, I am kind of interested to see exactly what is how this is going to play out. And I actually agree with Drew. I think that Drew had a good outlook on this. Where the fact that everybody is going to always remember this WrestleMania, no matter what WrestleMania that they have. It could be WrestleMania 80, like you said, and everybody is still going to remember the WrestleMania that they didn't have any fans. And while a lot of people don't like it, I still have to commend the WWE for at least giving us something different to watch during this point. I'm sure they could end up, they could have postponed it, but then again, a lot of wrestlers, a lot of fans look forward to WrestleMania every single year, and it's like the WWE doesn't want to let anybody down, so that's why they're continuing with WrestleMania.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you all for your thoughts. Dave, what do you think?
I agree a lot with what Drew said. I mean, I think it will be memorable. Nobody will ever forget this. There is the potential for some really great moments to come out of this thing. I absolutely agree with him that you shouldn't call it WrestleMania, though. I mean, that part, you want to do a network special and call it whatever the hell you want. Call it Corona Mania, for all I care. and do it. And just run with it, but I wouldn't call it WrestleMania because, like Jonesy's saying, a lot of people have clamored for it to be 2 nights. But yeah, one of the main reasons they wanted it to be 2 nights is because of fan exhaustion, because the fans are exhausted by the time you get to hour 6. And there's some really good matches that are going on that the fans just don't care about because they're too tired and they got to go to the bathroom and something like that. So the 2-night thing, I always, from my perspective, is always designed to, hey, let's break this up so that the fans are fresh and rested for all the great matches. Different, but it's still kind of cool. You can still give fans, because a lot of people wanted to see that Buccaneer ship set up as a WrestleMania stage. We're all going to miss that. So I agree with what Drew and Jonesy said, that it's going to be memorable. No one will ever, ever, ever forget this WrestleMania, but I wouldn't call it WrestleMania because it's not WrestleMania. This is not WrestleMania. No matter what, you can only put lipstick on a pig for so long, and it's still a pig. And that's what this situation is. You can call it whatever you want. This is not going to be WrestleMania, no matter what label Vince wants to put on it.
Dang, strong thoughts from Dave Unger, ladies and gentlemen, of Attitude of Aggression on social media, attitudeofaggression.com. Make sure you guys look him up. He's got articles, blogs, he's got podcasts. The man knows what he's talking about when it comes to the world of pro wrestling. He covers it, with passion and with vigor, and he's been doing it for a long time because he loves the sport just like everybody that's tuning in here tonight. So a couple of rapid-fire questions for you gentlemen, just things that I pulled off of either wrestling Twitter or just, whatever, when I Google pro wrestling news on Google. These are some of the things that came up. I just want to see if I can get your guys' quick fire or rapid fire thoughts. Number one, Hulk Hogan revealing the new look. I don't know if you guys seen the new Hulk Hogan with the all-white beard, kind of looking like Santa Claus-ish with some huge pecs. What do you guys think about the new look for Hulkster? Let's go ahead and start with you, Nightmare Jones.
I have not seen that. I did not know that Hulk Hogan had a new look. I'm going to have to look that up real quick. I did not know that.
All right, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, go ahead and look that up, man. That's on WrestlingNews.com. For you, Drew, I'm sure you saw it. Montez Ford last night took an incredibly dangerous bump to the outside of the ring. Nobody there to catch him or protect him. Landed kind of square on his back. Some people said he might even hit his head. Your thoughts on the Montez Ford bump? Was it planned or not planned?
I saw that earlier on Twitter when I was scrolling through, and then I think I saw it in a different chat room earlier in the day also. I did not watch it last night, but to me it looked like a giant miscommunication. So whenever Montez Ford went against the ropes, it looked like Seth Rollins meant to grab his leg and trip him up. And I really think that was the plan. That didn't happen. So Montez couldn't just stop because then it would look phony. So he went against the ropes, jumped out and did a dive. Austin Theory did not know that the dive was happening because he couldn't see what was happening in the ring. So he didn't have time to prepare. So I think it was just a giant miscommunication. Seth didn't grab the feet, so he had to go. You can't just stop. You're on TV, bro. International television. And just a big, big, terrible thing. I really hope he didn't break his back. But, you know, accidents happen in wrestling. Not everything goes as planned. It's not ballet, you know, as they say. I've taken a few choke slams in my life that didn't feel too well. So it is what it is. It's wrestling. I hope he turns out to be okay. I think just a giant miscommunication.
All right, and Dave, this one for you. Did Roman Reigns make a mistake by ranting against the fans on Instagram? Good move or bad move for Roman Reigns?
Oh, I think it's a great move. I am one of these people who I get tired of seeing Roman just put up with so much crap from the fans. And to me, it's like, yeah, fire back at them, man. I mean, the guy, if you listen to what he said, there's a lot of truth in what he said. He goes after leukemia. He comes back in 4 months because he didn't want to let any of his fans down and to be that part of WrestleMania last year. And, you know, he's done everything he can to keep himself out of the title picture. And you know, and then on top of it, he's going to pull himself out because, hey, this isn't a safe thing for me. And fans, you know, so Roman, in my opinion, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he gets the title, people are pissed off. He eliminates Edge, people are pissed off. He pulls out of WrestleMania, or whatever you want to call it, and people are pissed off. So I'm fine with Roman going off on some of these marks who are out there, giving him a hard time for every little thing he does. The guys, I know Roman Reigns, you know, massive fan. I like the guy just fine. I'm wearing one of his shirts right now. But I think he puts up with far too much crap from far too many people. So I was really glad to see him just kind of throw the gauntlet down on some of these guys and just go after him. So yeah, good for you. Kudos, Roman. Go get him. You're yours.
I love that. I love that. Well, Drew, thank you so much for jumping in and joining us. We're going to go ahead and get on to the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. But as always, man, it's a pleasure. Any words of encouragement to your fellow professional wrestling fans and workers, as I know that you work throughout the central United States as a referee. Any words of encouragement to those folks?
I think just keep grinding. You know, just because we can't do live shows in front of fans doesn't mean that our passion stops. It doesn't mean that our motivation stops. This is all just downtime to help heal our bodies, prepare our minds, and move forward to the future. So keep the faith, y'all.
Keep the faith. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Ref Pinky, a.k.a. Drew Chandler. Thank you for joining us, man. You have a great night.
Yep, see you guys.
All right. Gotta love Drew, man. He always adds such a unique perspective. Well, all that said, I think it's time to get into the most exciting segment of the whole show. And yes, we've been going for a little bit over 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen, but this is the best part of it all, where we get to test our pro wrestling knowledge against each other. And guess what? Tonight, things are going to be a little bit different because usually it's your boy that's in the spotlight, Nightmare Jones. But tonight, you get to go one-on-one against the one and only Dave Unger in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. My question to both of you is, are you guys ready and are you game?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
I am 100% ready. As a matter of fact, I am so ready. I already have my thing. I already have my song already queued up for the Nightmare Jones wins tonight contest. Here it is.
All we do is win, no matter what. Oh, man. That's good. Well, we're going to have to see how this plays out. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is time for the world-famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Intern Timmy, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that music. Intern Timmy, are you there, buddy? There it is. There it is. Turn it up. Turn it up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's installment of the world-famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are the one and only Wrestle Talk Podcast very own Nightmare Jones. Nightmare Jones, how you feeling? And of course, in the other corner, we have Attitude of Aggression's very own. And by the way, Dave is 2-0 in the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Dave Unger. Dave, how you feeling?
Better than Montez Ford's back, apparently.
Yes! Wow, absolutely wonderful fan reaction for the one and only Dave Unger. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into it. In a few moments, I will ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whoever you think the answer is, when you hear it, immediately shout it out. The first person who wins 2 out of 3 falls will be the winner of tonight's game show challenge. Do you gentlemen understand the rules?
Yes, I think I got it.
All right, I'll give you clues. As soon as you know, shout out the answer. All right, so in tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge is California Love. I will give you information about 3 professional wrestlers from California. When you think you know who I'm talking about, please shout out your answer. The first person, once again, to win 2 out of 3 falls will be the winner of tonight's contest. Are you guys ready to go?
Yes.
Ready, buddy.
This time, do whatever the hell you want. Let's get it on. Oh, man.
Thank you, Mills Lane. Question number 1. This professional wrestler hails from San Jose, California. After 4 years of on the independent scene under a different name, this wrestler went on to capture singles championships in both NXT and the WWE, and singles and tag championships also in the WWE. This wrestler is also the first professional wrestler to win Pro Wrestling Illustrated Inspirational Wrestler of the Year 2 years in a row from 2015 to 2016. Presently, this wrestler will be competing in WrestleMania, defending her
Barely.
SmackDown Women's Champion. And that is correct. Dave Unger The answer is Bailey. Presently, the score is 1-0 in favor of Dave Unger. Nightmare Jones, how you feel about that? You're down 1-0.
It's only 1-0. I got 2 more to go. 2 more.
No.
All right, question. Intern Timmy's out of his mind. All right, question number 2. This professional wrestler hails from the City of Angels. In his 27-year career, he has held championships in many professional wrestling promotions. That is incorrect. In his 27-year career, he has held multiple championships in many professional wrestling promotions, including New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and TNA. Presently, this wrestler is in All Elite Wrestling alongside his teammates Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky.
Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels. I said it first.
It's your call, man.
That's a tough one. You know what? We'll go back and we'll go ahead and check the tape. Right now, let's go ahead and call that second question a stalemate. We will go back and check the tape. All right, question number 3. This professional wrestler has done a lot in 18 years in professional wrestling. He has held... That is incorrect. He has held championships in OVW, Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, AAA, and WWE. A former winner of Tough Enough, this man is scheduled to defend the WWE Tag Team Championships at this upcoming WrestleMania. Alongside John Morrison is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an official winner, the one and only Dave Unger.
Got him! Got him!
Congratulations, Dave Unger. You are the winner. You are officially now 3-0 in the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Sir, for that reason, here is your victory music.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.
Congratulations, Dave Unger. Nightmare Jones, any thoughts on basically getting swept tonight? By the way, I just got confirmation. Dave Unger did actually beat you for question number 2. So you were swept tonight, sir. Any thoughts?
I have no thoughts. Congratulations. So it was a great time. I definitely enjoyed it. It was different thing in the other seat. Now I understand why Renee complains every time. Talk about pizza, talk about tacos, I would have won.
Probably. I can't dispute that, Jonesy. Let's do it.
Dave, do us a big favor, man. Tell us what you're doing to stay busy during the quarantine and how people can keep it locked in to the Attitude of Aggression.
And I've just, I've been working at home for 3 years anyway, so it's no big change for me. But, I'm trying to watch as much wrestling as I can, checking out Lock and Key on Netflix. Great show. I highly recommend that. Podcasting with the Attitude of Aggression, which you can check out at AttitudeAGG on the Twitter, Facebook.com/Attitude of Aggression. And we're doing stuff with the Nerdcast, Bandwagon Nerds podcast. That's a little side project that's been going on for 20 episodes, which is a lot of fun. And just kind of doing that and trying to stay sane, keeping my 6 foot barrier around me, that sort of thing. You know, California's a mess, but not as bad as New York. So there is that.
There is that. That's crazy. Well, Joe, I want to give you an opportunity to say goodnight to Dave. Dave, is there anything that you wanted to cover during tonight's episode that we didn't get a chance to talk about real quick, man? Was there anything that you wanted to say to the audience, or maybe just personal thoughts that you have in regards to wrestling at this moment in time that maybe we didn't give you an opportunity to talk about?
Man, I just want to wish, you know, everybody out there that they stay safe, they stay healthy, that, you know, hopefully we get through all this stuff. I mean, I was supposed to be on the East Coast right now, getting ready for the Nationals home opener on Thursday where they're going to raise the banner. That didn't happen. I mean, the one thing I would say, even though I'm against the idea of doing WrestleMania in this format, I had Tracy Smothers on the show the other night with John Cosper, you know, friend of your guys' show as well, and they brought up some good points. This, my opinion, has nothing to do with the wrestlers. The guys and the gals, they're doing everything they can. You got to support them. Also, I would say something Tracy brought up that I brought up too. A lot of these indie wrestlers are out of work. A lot of these indie promotions are shut down. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees, support an indie wrestler. Go buy a shirt. Give these guys some love. Give these gals some love. Help them out during this time frame. Make sure you're supporting indie wrestling, and you know, enjoy it. I mean, WrestleMania, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be WrestleMania. It's going to be, like Drew said, very interesting. We'll see what happens. Everybody, I hope they stay safe and healthy, man.
Jonesy?
Just thank you for coming on to the podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to the podcast. You are awesome. You are welcome on to the podcast anytime that you want to, so you are more than welcome.
I appreciate it, guys. I got to get you guys on my show. It's time to reciprocate, return the favor. You know, you guys got to come on mine.
Let's do it, man. Have some great questions. And I'll tell you what, in the spirit of giving back during this time, I want to say to everybody, we're also doing kind of our thing here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. For those of you that have been on the fence about getting the Wrestle Talk podcast mug, we can get it customized for you for only $20. That means we'll engrave your name on the Wrestle Talk podcast mug. This is a bar quality mug. Half of our profits, which is half of our profits is $5, will go directly to your favorite professional wrestler, your favorite professional wrestling promotion, or even your favorite charity. You tell us where you want that money to go. We'll do that. Also, huge thanks to our sponsors, The Conspiracy Farm with UFC Hall of Famer Pat Milicic and also Jeffrey Wilson, a.k.a. J. Hollywood. Kincaid at the Oak Park Mall that is presently closed. You guys can still place an order for select items at Kincaid on Facebook. Dave, once we're done with this, man, do me a favor. Go over to Facebook and give Kincaid a like. You're going to love them. Vintage toys, wrestling stuff, Batman, Mega Man, Super Mario, all that vintage stuff that we all love. Kincaid's got it. They'll ship it straight to your house. They got a great thing going on over there. And last but not least, Dave, thank you so much for making time for us, dude. We love the fact that you continue to come on and support the Wrestle Talk podcast. We hope that you find yourself well and that you and your family make it through this completely unscathed, man. Appreciate you making time for us, brother. Grace and peace to you.
Anytime, guys. Always glad to be a part of your show.
It's always an honor and a pleasure for us as well. Thank you, Drew, for calling at the end of the show. The FWC was bomb. DJ and Hoodie Howlett, surprise freaking appearance by Hoodie Howlett, man, one of the greatest tag team wrestlers in the Midwest today. Also a damn good independent singles wrestler as well. I guess I don't want to miss anybody. Just awesome show. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Jonesy, I know you got some jams you want to play on the way out. Guys, we'll be back next week for episode 291 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Please be sure to check us out on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. Leave a review. We love you guys 24/7 every single day of the week over at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Jonesy, let's get on, get out of here, bro. Let's get back to our families. Everybody be safe out there. You heard me? Peace.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.